quant funds have been around forever. So there's crypto, MEV bots, and there's crypto trend following, and there's crypto arbitrage. That is an agent, right? It's just called quantitative investing. So, if you can program an agent that makes money, you will make lots of money. There are people like, remember that guy, who's the guy from the subway, Jared, the Jared MEV bot? That guy made a fortune. And there's plenty of other MEV bots that nobody knows about that are from guys like Jump Trading or Jane Street or whatever, and they quit their job at the big hedge fund and they sit there and program, and their MEV bot steals a little bit of ETH from you every time you trade ETH, and they make a fortune, and it's fantastic for them. But that's what an agent is. An agent doesn't need to talk to anybody. And for it to be autonomous, well, what's there to do on chain that other than speculate? I mean, as of now, there's not a whole lot. Yeah, I mean, we shut it down because nobody used it. I'd much rather have something that people organically are using when instead of like just go shill it nonstop. And that's just such an ugly thing to do. You'd rather people do it and use it because they like it and it's useful, and we tried it and it didn't work and we moved on. And, that's what a business does. It doesn't sit there and say, well, let me force feed people this, even though they don't want it. Let me feed them a narrative that I know nobody actually uses this or likes it, but I'm going to feed them this thing anyway. And it's just not an honest thing to do. And, I feel like, I think like, actually my friend Zintani every now and then says something smart, which is rare for her, but every now and then she says that, I love her to death, but she says that, I buy when there's blood in the streets and I sell when everyone's partying and excited. And I think that is a very reasonable way to do things. And when people are sick of Bitcoin, they don't want to hear about it, don't even say that to me, I lost so much money on that, that's when it sounds like you should go long and max leverage long. When people are like, this is the future of money, that every company in America should have Bitcoin on their balance sheet. I'm going to leverage up and borrow money in risk bankruptcy to buy Bitcoin. That's crazy. And that's the time to let me take my chips off the table and move on. In terms of the AI talk, I mean, look, I'm all for it. Everybody should build something like that, but it should be useful to my brother and sister who don't care about crypto, my mom, and so forth. Like that would be exciting. It's in this zero-sum game of PvP, yeah, you have to grab the attention of somebody else and often lie to get their attention, which is like a line I won't cross, but people will cross and they'll lie and spam and do whatever it takes to get attention. Anytime you send a tweet, there's 50 responses that have, oh, buy this token or buy that token, you're missing my token, and folks get really devious about how they market them. But ultimately, that I'd rather be invested in something that can have like a multiplying compounding effect because people actually use it than, okay, this might steal some attention from 𝗏𝗏, but how does the guy who bought 𝗏𝗏 that doesn't hear about the next big thing, whether it's an AI agent or Fartcoin, how does that guy feel when he's down 40-50%, when he took you out of your 𝗏𝗏 position, but he's sitting there holding the bag? That's a guy you need in the future.
Next, I have a question for you. With this mania, with Fartcoin, all of this craziness going on, what makes you think that mania is going to stop between now and Inauguration Day and now and July, when Trump's planning this big party for America, yada, yada, yada? I'm kind of seeing hysteria going.
I see a lot of red candles, so I'm hoping that it just keeps bleeding, and half the people in this room quit crypto. They sell everything for the scraps that are left, and then the real true believers are still there with capital and say, okay, let's pick up the pieces and let's move on.
Kanye West farts, Kim Kardashian farts, everybody farts.
There was jokes like this about other tokens, and Andrew Tate even used the hard R to promote his token. And I haven't even checked his prices, but I assume they're all at zero. It's pretty hard to sustain attention. I mean, fart jokes are great, but look, it might be the one that gets away, the one that really Dogecoin has. No, there's no doubt. Like you can keep adjusting for mimetic fitness, and that evolutionary adjustment will happen over and over again until you have these ideal coins. But what happens to the coin that you just dumped? Maybe I should be short that. Like I was short 𝗏𝗏 for a while, and this is a token that could very well go to 1. And it's so out of the Bitcoin's the holy coin to you. Why is that? I think Lindy is hard to assign for something that's just 16 years old. Maybe we don't know. It's too early to tell. I mean, the future holds lots of surprises, and what's Lindy today, maybe, not so Lindy tomorrow. And I think, so far that's been right. And Bitcoin's been dominant and it's had great dominance. But as I said earlier, the unknown unknown is we can't today sit here and conjure in our minds something that's so cool and so amazing that it's better than Bitcoin is the Bitcoin killer. But someone might do that. I'm not creative enough. I don't know. I don't think Alpha's creative enough. But there's some future Satoshi out there that's going to come up with something that is so amazing that we sit here and say, wow, this was it all along, and we totally messed it up. And so things that are Lindy today might just look, trite and old tomorrow. And I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if it's going to be Monad or not. But I think that, somebody's going to try to keep doing this. And every single day that, Paradigm is in business, which I hope will be forever, they're going to keep trying to come out with a better Bitcoin. And that's their job. And, what it does and what it looks like and all this stuff, I have no clue because I'm just not that creative. But I do think that, no, I don't have any specific view that is that specific to that one or any other one. There's a lot that are in the works that are like in testnet and have raised hundreds of millions and will soon be out. And the question is, will any of these gain any traction whatsoever? Well, Solana found a way. There is a way to do it. I just don't know what it is. I don't have to worry about it though. I could just sit back and wait. And if one of them takes hold, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And, Bitcoin does feel like, kind of this old inferior technology that, is people sort of like have changed the story about why to be bullish on Bitcoin from it's the future of money to, oh, it's just really Lindy and like, we're going to pay for it even if I can't actually use it to replace the monetary system, I'm going to be bullish on it because other people are bullish on it. And to me, that's insanity.
Bitcoin's like form equals function. Like by definition, there can never be like quite exactly another Satoshi Nakamoto with the exact tokenomics and the exact distribution. Like it can never actually be replicated. Even like if a fucking L1 pops off and becomes the future of like transactions and shit, like the next MasterCard, like it's still not going to be Bitcoin. Like it's quite literally something that's like unique and irreplicable.
Yeah, the first amazing digital art, the first amazing lithography, every single thing has a first time. There's a first programming language. Ultimately, we do use improved versions of technology. Bitcoin's still technology, and technology improves itself. And I think that there are going to be better blockchains. There probably already are. And, ultimately that may take market share away from Bitcoin. I think it's funny when Saylor points to gold or points to something else and assumes like, okay, I can have that whole market cap. Well, wait a second. Why should Bitcoin have every dollar of that? Even today, Bitcoin doesn't have 80 or 90% of crypto. And over time, by definition, since day one, at least, Bitcoin has had less than 100%. And it's completely conceivable that Bitcoin dominance drops to some low number over the years. And I think part of that is technology. People, for example, love Solana because you can deploy on it really quickly. Bitcoin will never have that. Remember when people tried with runes or things like that? It didn't work. Runes are dead. People are still launching meme coins on Solana.
Yeah.
I feel like every contrivance possible will be used to get attention, right? So whether it's that kid that rugged everyone on Twitch, or somebody who locked themselves in a cage before they could be released for their token, whatever it takes will be done. Using software to do it is great, but you have to realize that the amount of attention that we have to do any of this, it's cool for day one, it's cool for day two, and then eventually you have to ask yourself, are you actually truly entertained by this? Talking to LLMs isn't that fun. Having LLMs bootstrap attention is harder than it sounds. They're just not that creative, they're not that interesting, they're not that funny. Maybe one day they will be, but it's also one of these things where do you want to be part of an internet that's all machines and a couple of people? Going back to the old theme that there's no women on the internet. So I don't know, I feel like that doesn't speak to me as okay, this is the future. I think I'd rather do something like real world application, hard asset backed stuff, things like that sound a little more interesting. They're less sexy, I guess, but because we all want to hit 100x or 1000x, and every time a fart coin does that, we get all excited and hot and bothered that maybe I can turn $1,000 to 100,000 or 50,000 into 5 million because or more, because it happened with Farcoin, so it could happen to me, and it's just becomes a merry-go-round and hot potato, and whatever contrivance that people can create with whatever new technology that might come out, it's really taking the technology and like warping it to fit into crypto, and it's a very obviously unnatural fit. I've been pitched like all kinds of like very strange like crossovers, and everyone wants to make free money because the supply of these things doesn't cost anything. And there's a huge school of thought outside of crypto where actually building valuable things by definition must require capital. Like you cannot build a beverage company without at least making a plant that can make beverages. Like it costs millions of dollars to build that plant. People might like your drink, they might hate your drink, but you actually have to put money down. Whereas anybody can make crypto, it takes a little blood, sweat, and tears, and you can try to get your coin out there. So that when you have an infinite supply, you know what happens to price. Whereas if you make something that has a moat because you've actually put money in the money in the ground and you've actually built something that cost you tons of money, then you could say, well, this guy put 5 million into this thing or put 10 million into this thing. There's at least something there. And again, I just keep pointing at dog with hat. This is a meme that's now second hat. No pun intended. It's second tier. It's less exciting. People don't care about it that much. That's why it's down 35%. And Farcoin is up 1,000% because we're moving from hot potato to hot potato. And the question is, can you keep up? Can you be plugged in enough with the Ansems of the world or other people like that, where you're picking up their scraps, buying their bags, helping them get out of their things, and that you can hopefully get the ride by being connected to somebody or by being, proximal to somebody or watching them closely, and you get off from sinking ship to sinking ship to sinking ship. I don't like that. I mean, at some point, you're going to be the guy sinking in the sinking ship. And I feel like, I'm not plugged in enough to be on every single rising ship. People call me to buy tokens when they've already loaded up. And I feel like, playing this game where I'm going to be your exit liquidity and I'm going to hold your bag is not something that I like to do. I'd much rather hold something that actually has a story that's going to last forever. Some of these things you've mentioned, they're better than no story. They're better than nothing. Again, these agents, for example, they sound cool, but is it something that's going to really possess people? Will it be here in 5 years? I doubt it. Again, every now and then you get a dog with hat. Otherwise, a Doge, or we wouldn't even be having this discussion. There would be no discussion about this because everyone wants that second Doge or the third Doge or whatever it is. And so far, there are not many of them, given the supply of millions of these things that we come out with every day. There's people, as we all know, in fact, most people here, I do it every now and then. We sit down and say, gee, how do I get this community to give me money? How do I make something that they're gonna love? And we all will try, and some of us succeed, most of us don't. And the one or two people that do succeed, they make tons of money. And then, we rinse and repeat. But we're all sort of grabbing at the same pot. And I think that, the better way to do it is not play this game and say, what can I actually do that's useful? And the answer to that is there's almost nothing. Everyone's tried to do, it's lotto. I mean, it's but there's only so much money. And to me, I sense an opportunity as a career short seller of, okay, so Farcoin's getting attention. Great for Farcoin. What does that mean for dog with hat? Does that mean dog with hat goes to 1 because nobody cares about it anymore? Because now people are on AI 16Z, they're on other AI.
That's like the game that
Well, no, that's from your perspective, because you're long. That's cool for you. For me, I'm sitting there licking my chops, basically salivating at the prospect of dog with hat going to 10 cents. Because I can short it on Binance and cover it at 10 cents and watch all the dog with hat holders say, dog with hat is dead. Let me move on to Farcoin. And this is like the easiest short in the world because who's going to buy dog with hat today? You much rather buy Farcoin, but at least Farcoin's going up. So to me, as a short seller, I love this. You can try to find the next Farcoin and jump all the other memes, but I bet you tons of people in here at one point owned dog with hat or still own it. And it's dead money. Nobody's going to resurrect that meme. So, to me, I
don't know. Anselm's going to put it on the biggest sphere.
That's right.
Martin, is it like this in startups as well with the AI companies that are raising at ridiculous valuations? Like, how is that any
No, because they grow revenue. So Perplexity is a company that a friend of mine manages, and he had $5 million in revenue. I remember when this happened. He had a like a 500 million market cap. Then he had 10.
So many of those companies don't do any revenue.
Right. Well, that's why he did great. He had 5, then he had 10, then he had 20, then he had 50, and he's killing it. And a lot of these companies fold before they do $1 of revenue. And so the companies that so hundreds of companies got their first 5-10 million, but only Perplexity's raised like $1 billion because he's been rewarded with success. He's been rewarded with actually delivering. Whereas I feel like it's obvious that he has revenue and earnings. 𝗏𝗏 never had revenue and earnings; it just had more attention, and it's a finite sum. Attention also has a half-life, right? You have to keep doing stuff to get people interested, and that's so hard to do. Once you've sort of had your attention moment, you had your 15 minutes of fame. How do you make that 15 years of fame? It's not going to happen for any of these tokens, and I just hope they get listed so I can short them because there's only so much money in crypto, and it's there's not lots of new money coming to the space.
It's like Shkreli, I know it might be different with y'all's generation, but I don't know, Zoomer, Gen Alpha, a lot of us are coming into the space because there is this transfer of wealth. We understand attention, we understand the internet, and we're able, bro, we grew up on it, and after understanding money gets printed out of thin air, you can literally play this game and potentially set yourself up. Bro, you can literally become tried and true in this space and potentially set yourself up for the long run, which, I don't know, you don't have the opportunity. Bro, stock markets are controlled by a certain group of people. There's all these different markets that are controlled by these different groups of people, and we have the opportunity to be early, whether it's Bitcoin, meme coins, any of these altcoins. Bro, we have that opportunity, and bro, it gives our generation a chance. Retirement might not be a possibility once I get to the age of 65 or even higher than that. Bro, there's all these things.
I'm cringing as hard as I could possibly cringe because, at the end of the day, the people that are running these AI companies are in their 20s. They chose to learn linear algebra while you chose to learn pepe. And some of them are billionaires. And they're making useful software that people love and people are paying for. It's corporate software. It's not as fun as meme coins, but it's real at the very least. And so Warren Buffett joined an old person's game, and then he became an old person. There's nothing new under the sun. The idea that we're in this new economy and crypto's this new thing, and I don't have to go to work anymore, and I can sleep all day long, wake up, trade a little bit, and go back to sleep and become rich. I bet against that. I bet that hard work still matters, reputation still matters, intellect still matters.
That's not what people do, though. They don't sleep all day and then trade a little bit. The ones that are doing it full time, they're doing 8-9 hours a day.
And I've said this before, those people ultimately would be fantastic traders in commodities. They'd be fantastic traders in bonds. They're just good traders. And so many people have made money in crypto. They're just good at trading, and they've uncovered a latent talent that would have worked in stocks. It would have worked in anything. It's just a financial asset like anything else. So I agree with you. I know tons of people that started off oh, let me trade this. And, it turns out after I meet them that their returns are really great, and they're doing all the same risk management and deep diligence that would make sense in any financial market. So for sure, that makes a ton of sense. But a lot of people in those markets, I think, are, just very careful and very credible and are trading. They have a lot of trading kind of knowledge, whether they pick it up on the go or they learned it from somebody or both. For sure. I mean, some of these people are very, very rich and good for them. But I don't think it's because of crypto. I think it's because they would have done just as well in any other space.
And just to add, bro, I'm not saying, I'm not a full-time trader by any means. I trade and I'm just buying and I'm just pushing it off to the side for the most part. Bro, I think a lot of us, especially in this space, have jobs, full-time jobs that we're doing, and it's more of a side thing. So I don't know. There are the select few who are able to do this on a day-to-day, just scan through charts 8-12 hours a day and actually be profitable. But for the most part, I think most people are just buying and selling and just, I don't know, doing what they please while also balancing a social life, a work life. Yeah, there are a select few, and those are the vocal minority that we do see in the space where they're trying to convince other people to, I don't know, trade full-time in the space, but teach them.
It's fun. A lot of people just treat it some people get off work and they go to the video lottery machine for a while, you know what I mean? Or
or Polymarket. I'm a Polymarket addict now. to start a company in that space and do really well. But no, in all seriousness, the Polymarket is an unbelievable, use case for crypto. It's probably like up there after stable coins. It is like, and then speculation writ large. Polymarket's just incredible. This is something that has staying power, that everyone I know that's tried it just loves it. And so many people are like, I don't care what I have to do to get on Polymarket, but I don't care what Polygon is, I don't care what Matic is, just find me a way so that I can bet on it. And that's what, one crypto company that deserves a lot of credit. And I was a Polymarket hater for a while, just for personal reasons, but I had to give credit where credit's due, that, they did an amazing job, and I'm absolutely addicted to it. I'm a top 200, maybe even top 100 trader at this point on there, and it's just great. There's no doubt about it. It's probably illegal, but that's another story. But it is an awesome tool that has taken a lot of look. It played a role in the election, for crying out loud. So that's an awesome thing that crypto did without being crypto necessarily. It was able to capture the world's imagination. So the more we get stuff like that, I think the better. The more we try hard to force it with a fart coin or force it with whatever else it is, it's, that's kind of lame. Now the problem is you can't make money on that. Everyone here would belong, a Polymarket token, and they'll probably give one out at some point. But, we would have loved to have been there early days and make 1,000x. Some of us probably would have made 10,000x if we had that opportunity. We just didn't. Somebody made it and tried to force it down everyone's throat. I mean, that's. I mean, listen, people want to trade. It's like pink sheets and penny stocks and quantum stocks. It's just like, something where people just kind of will throw money at anything. I'm bearish overall, but that doesn't mean anything necessarily.